Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Price List Update video series brought to you by Actionable Insights. You've got Stone here, you've got Whatley there, and you've got Fehrman there. As you all know, here at Actionable Insights, it's our stated mission to preserve the health of the restoration ecosystem. We build resources that help people write better estimates and reduce claims frictions for all involved. In this Plus video series, we highlight what new line items were added to the Xactimate price list every month. The existing line items also change, so we take a look at what changed in the line items that use every single day. It's in everyone's best interest to know what's changed, been updated, etc. So let's start by taking a look at the new line items that were added to the Xactimate price list in May 2025.
New line items.
Good deal, guys. So we have 12 new line items this month. Let's start at the top. We've got a new HVAC line item, FEE, an HVAC assessment fee bid item. I'm going to go to the item image, click for additional detail. HVAC assessment fee following a water, fire, or mold event bid item. Whatley, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, that additional item information doesn't tell you much, so I'll jump in and say something. There's a lot of new bid items you and I have seen drop over the last 6 months. Often those are bifurcated between bid item approved by third party, bid item not approved by third party. Guys, that is not organic restoration work. That is the program environment expressing their will against the published price list and including line items that serve and preserve their interest.
Yeah.
A trend I've seen that I'm uncomfortable with is that carriers tend to seem to want to play general contractor. Okay, I've seen it with TPAs going and getting a general contractor license in 50 states. I've seen carriers going and pointing their own individual vendors for each specific function, be it plumbing, being flooring, stuff we never saw before.
Right.
And so I think my prediction, Stone, things move in sin waves in this industry. 5 years from now, I reach into the future, and carriers are going to have absolutely no interest in being a prime contractor when they start realizing all the complexity coordination required to perform that work, how little money a lot of these prime contractors are making anyways, assuming all that warranty risk and administrative cost. And so we will return to a world where carriers will want nothing to do with being prime contractors 5 years from now. But I think right now, unfortunately, the carriers are suffering from the Heller-Dunning effect. An outsider looking at a situation and thinking it's quite simple, not dissimilar to how restorers, have judgment against carriers. Like, how hard could your job be? You just collect premiums, right? There's a lot more going on there behind the scenes.
There is.
So that's where I'm at with these bid items. Hard to be excited about these bid items, but here's one more bid item for HVAC.
Agreed. All right, we've got several new trauma crime scene remediation line items. Over the past 3 months, we've had dozens of these new TCR line items introduced into Xactimate. Most of these are bifurcated from the HMR category just because there is an increased labor cost associated with trauma work. We've got new line items for specialty cleaning, sinks, toilets, tubs, windows, as well as tear out a subfloor and bagging it for disposal and underlayment. Fehrman, what do you think?
Oh, I think the pricing department has actually done us a favor, a step in the right direction, because there's a psychological cost associated with every trauma job I've ever touched. And for them to improve the pricing to reflect that gives the contractor the ability to be competent and compassionate and comparing to serve the policyholder, which is, I think, the common goal we're supposed to all share.
Agreed. All right, those are the 12 new line items that were added to the Xactimate price list in May 2025. Now, let's take a look at the changes.
Checking out the changes.
All right, allow me to snap my screen, guys. I'm going to throw the new line items on the right, and we've got the old line items here on the left. Okay, so we have no major yield, labor, or productivity rate changes that were recorded in the line items here. We do have some updates to the remove line items in this TCR category. There have been some changes to the waste bag component. There's actually an increased cost in these with the new line items. And we do have some updates to the note field in the plus definition for siding, metal siding in the SDG category. I'm going to pull this up so you can see these side by side. right? So they've changed the verbiage on this. The original line item description had aluminum siding. The newer updated verbiage says metal siding, and it does specify that this could be steel or aluminum. In the Midwest, this is pretty common. If you have a house that has 50 or 60-year-old metal siding on it, you may not know it's aluminum or metal until you do the magnet test and find out. So I do like that clarification because it does highlight that there may be a difference between the material construction. And moving along, we do have an update to CABLOWSR. This clarifies that this is an add-on line item. Whatley, I know we are familiar with this line item at Actionable Insights. Do you have any flavor that you want to add to this?
Yeah, this is like a nuanced suite of line items, and what it was, guys, is this is the pricing department's attempt to compensate the restorer for the additional risk and time it takes to shore up a cabinet when you're extracting cabinets and when you're replacing them. And there's been a lot of confusion about this particular suite of line items just because it is, you know, nuanced, trying to thread that needle. And this is just one more clarification to say, hey, this is an add-on line item that's supposed to augment the cabinetry. If you're extracting,
Right.
it's okay to and totally appropriate if you're shoring that cabinet to hit them with the add-on as opposed to the extraction line item. The full history stone is these two line items were combined for shoring when they were initially introduced, but that created a bunch of confusion. So an add-on line item was attempted to like clarify. But even add-on isn't clear enough in the description, so they went here in the additional item information and made it explicit about, hey, if you're going to have an add-on, this is the base line item that you would add it on to, and that's what you see outlined here.
100%. I think clarification is always a great thing. So fantastic.
And I think it's wonderful that the pricing department's trying to compensate the restorer to do the right thing, which really, an additional line item, this does pay the contractor a little bit more, but ultimately on balance, if you can preserve the countertop, then that lowers total indemnity, right? Which is better for the policyholder, better for the carrier, right? So this is really a good faith effort, these whole suite of line items, in my opinion.
100%. You know, the carrier can get the insured back into the home sooner, or they may be able to stay in their home if you keep that countertop shirt up and they can still use the facilities. So
You got it.
I agree. Right, we have a minor change to the ornate paneling line item. I won't go into a lot of detail on that. I don't think any of us have done a lot of ornate paneling lately. We've already discussed the new or the updates to the metal siding line items. Again, that's been adjusted to say steel or aluminum. And as those new line items are introduced, I am sure we'll have something awesome to show you guys next month. But for this month, we've got 12 new line items, some existing changes to those existing line items. Now, if this is the first time that you've watched one of our videos, hi, nice to meet you. Be sure to
usually
check us
it's
out.
more exciting. Usually there's more line items, big stuff. This is like a not a huge release here.
Hopefully we have something amazing next month.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
All right.
Anyway, check us out at getinsights.org. Every single Price List Update summary video dating back to 2020 is available on our website. And just below the video box is a list of every line item that we've discussed. And they're all hyperlinks so that when you click on them, it will jump right to that point in the video that we talk about that specific line item. So that's just another great tool to help you settle claims out there. If you use a new line item, and you get a comment about your audience not being familiar with that line item, use that to send them a timestamp hyperlink explaining, hey, I know you've not seen this before. It was just added. Here's a great video, actionable insights talking about it. So wherever you are watching this, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, please follow, please like, please subscribe. Don't forget to check us out at getinsights.org. We have that plethora of estimating resources that are only going to help you increase your estimating accuracy. And until we see you next month, never stop learning and growing.
Yeah, to that end, Stone, you can forget about all these videos because all this gets jammed into the AI that we're shipping with the actionable alerts. So now you can be relieved of the burden of having to remember 17,500 structural line items, the relationship
100%.
between all of them, and the 30 new line items that typically get introduced every month. That's all in the AI, but beyond the scope of this call. Keep building, y'all.
Hey, improve today.